It's been 382 days since Jack Grealish last scored a goal for Manchester City. For a player with a price tag of £100 million, this is not only a bad statistic, but a sign that something's not quite right. Some might call it a career in crisis. But is it really? Let's break it all down. On August 5th, 2021, Jack Grealish made history. Manchester City spent a record-breaking £100 million to sign him from Aston Villa, making him the most expensive British player ever. It was a clear statement. City believed Grealish could take their already world-class team to the next level. Grealish arrived at the Etihad as a superstar. At Aston Villa, he was the team's star player and the heart of their attack. But moving to Manchester City was a whole new challenge. Pep Guardiola's system is built on precision, quick passes, and strict positioning. It's not easy to adapt, especially for someone like Grealish, who thrived on freedom at Villa. At Villa, Grealish could do what he wanted on the pitch. He'd hold onto the ball, draw fouls, and create chances in his own style. At City, though, the game moves faster, and players need to make quick, one-touch decisions. Grealish struggled to fit into this new system. His natural style didn't always match City's play, and that showed in his performances during the first few months of the 2021-22 season. Fans and pundits started to question whether City's £100 million gamble had paid off. Why wasn't Grealish shining like he did at Villa? Was he just not cut out for Guardiola's system? Or was it simply a matter of time before he found his groove? Despite his struggles, Jack Grealish played an important role in Manchester City's Premier League winning campaign during the 2021-22 season. He made 26 league appearances, scoring 3 goals and providing 3 assists. These numbers were a far cry from his standout performances at Aston Villa, but they reflected a player still adapting to a more demanding system. By the 2022-23 season, Grealish started to find his rhythm. His contributions were vital to City's historic treble-winning season. He looked more comfortable in Guardiola's intricate system, making smart runs off the ball and showing a better understanding of his role. His performances in key Champions League matches highlighted his ability to step up when it mattered most. As City celebrated their treble, it seemed Grealish had finally silenced his critics. But just when things looked promising, his fortunes took an unexpected turn. The excitement of the treble quickly faded, and the £100 million man found himself on the fringes of the team. But if things looked promising after City's treble, how did Jack Grealish's form take such a dramatic nosedive? The 2023-24 season marked a sharp decline for Grealish. After a slow start, he scored his first goal of the campaign in December during a thrilling 3-3 draw against Spurs. He followed it with a goal against Luton and another against Crystal Palace shortly after. But shockingly, that was the end of his scoring streak. Grealish didn't score again for the rest of the season and managed just 1 assist. Even now, as we end 2024, Grealish hasn't scored a single goal this season. If this drought continues, he could go an entire year without finding the net for Manchester City. To be fair, injuries have played a big part in Grealish's struggles. He missed a significant portion of the 2023-24 season due to a nagging hamstring issue that disrupted his rhythm right when he seemed to be finding his feet. And the lack of consistent playing time has also affected his form. With fewer minutes on the pitch, it's been harder for him to rediscover the sharpness that made him so effective during City's treble-winning run. This has created a frustrating cycle. Limited opportunities lead to poor performances, which in turn result in even fewer chances to prove himself. For a player of Grealish's caliber, this situation is as frustrating for fans as it is for him. The challenge now is for him to stay fit and use whatever chances he gets to remind everyone of what he can do. Now, let's look at the tactical implications of Jack Grealish's struggles. It's clear that his role within Manchester City has evolved. The arrival of players like Jeremy Doku and, more recently, Savinho has changed the dynamics of the squad. On top of that, City has shifted towards a more direct style of play. How Grealish fits into this new system and whether he can adapt his game to remain an important figure under Pep Guardiola is one of the biggest questions surrounding City's current season. Manchester City's tactical evolution has cast doubts on where Jack Grealish fits within the squad. A closer look at the numbers reveals just how much the team's style has changed. Over the past season, City's approach has shifted significantly, focusing more on direct, aggressive attacking play rather than the slower, possession-heavy build-up they were known for. This change has been a challenge for Grealish, whose natural style doesn't always align with the team's evolving dynamics. You can see it clearly with players like Jeremy Doku, who've added a whole new spark to their game. Doku's speed and unpredictability have brought something fresh to City's attack, making defences scramble. But that's where the contrast with Jack Grealish becomes obvious. His slower, more methodical approach doesn't quite match the team's new high-tempo vibe. His influence on the game has clearly dropped. He's getting far fewer touches on the ball, which shows he's struggling to fit into Manchester City's evolving attacking patterns. The stats make this even clearer. When Grealish is on the pitch, City tends to play slower, but when he's not playing, the team adopts a quicker, more direct approach with faster transitions and more counter-attacking opportunities. This shift in style has made it harder for Grealish to stand out. His natural tendency to hold on to the ball, draw fouls, and create chances through intricate passing worked well in slower systems. One of the biggest complaints about Grealish these days is how often he passes back instead of taking on defenders. At Aston Villa, he was fearless, one of the best in the league at dribbling past opponents and creating chaos in dangerous areas. But at City, that edge seems to have dulled. Take the match against Arsenal earlier this season. Grealish received the ball on the left multiple times, but often played it back or sideways, giving Arsenal's defence time to regroup instead of putting them under pressure. Meanwhile, Doku is out there driving at defenders and bringing unpredictability to City's attack. Fans and pundits have picked up on this change, and many blame Guardiola's system, which emphasises possession and minimising risks. While this approach has its strengths, it's also taken away one of Grealish's biggest weapons, his ability to unbalance defences with bold, direct play. If Grealish can rediscover that aggression and adapt it to City's current style, it might be the key to getting his career back on track. For now, though, he has a tough road ahead. Looking at the bigger picture, Jack Grealish's ability to adapt is going to be important in deciding what comes next. The next few months could determine whether he works his way back to being a key player for Manchester City or if a fresh start elsewhere might be on the cards. To make things even tougher, his England career is also in jeopardy, adding another layer of pressure. It's not just at City where things have been uncertain. Over the summer, as the Euros approached, the competition for attacking spots in the England squad heated up. In a move that surprised many, Gareth Southgate decided to leave Grealish out. This drop from the national team came after a tough season where Grealish just couldn't find his rhythm or confidence. Unfortunately, those struggles have followed him into this campaign. He's even admitted it's been a difficult time, saying he hasn't been playing with much confidence. That honesty might be his saving grace, though. It shows he's aware of what needs to change, and that awareness could be the first step toward turning things around as he faces some big decisions about his future. It's only fair to point out that Manchester City as a whole has had its struggles this season. At the time of writing, the team has managed just one win in their last 9 games, including a recent loss at Anfield, a game where Jack Grealish was limited to a bench role. In a team that's not firing on all cylinders, is it realistic to expect Grealish to rediscover his form? On top of that, are critics being too harsh by judging him solely on goals and assists? There's a case to be made here. Pep Guardiola has often highlighted how Grealish contributes in ways that don't show up on the stat sheet, drawing defenders, creating space for others, and keeping possession. These qualities might not grab headlines, but they're still valuable. In today's social media-driven world, though, goals tend to be the ultimate benchmark for attacking players. Grealish's journey from Aston Villa hero to Manchester City's £100 million enigma is a reminder of just how unpredictable football careers can be. His struggles aren't down to just one thing. They're the result of a perfect storm. Injuries disrupted his rhythm, City's tactical changes clashed with his natural style, and off-field distractions have only made it harder for him to focus. Despite everything, Jack Grealish's resilience shines through. Whether he can turn things around and revive his career is still up for debate, but it's a conversation everyone is having. His story mirrors that of many other big-money transfers who've struggled to adapt. In today's high-pressure football world, where instant results are everything, it raises the question, how do we really measure a player's worth? His next chapter is still unwritten, and whether he becomes a key figure at Manchester City again or looks for a fresh start elsewhere, one thing is certain: his journey is far from over. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jack Grealish's journey, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more football stories that go beyond the pitch. See you in the next one.